Welcome to another episode of My World to Travel, the travel channel created for all the travel dreamers out there. I'm Andre. This is a special Christmas edition. Let's welcome Christina and our guests. Hello, Christina. Happy holidays. Oh my God, look at you. You're so festive.
Bon Natale, Feliz Navidad, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. How are you, Andre?
Very nice. Very nice. I got my tea and can't wait to welcome our guests. Let's welcome Kaita, who's joining us all the way from Southern California.
Hello. Good to
Morning.
see you guys. Look how festive everyone
Oh
looks.
my God, your tree looks wonderful. Okay, so guys, our special guests are, it's the two R's, the R&R, straight from Germany, representing the Rocco Forte German properties, which there are three of. Coming to us live with a very special presentation is Roman and Rene.
Thank
Hey
you. Thanks
guys,
for having us.
thanks for having us. Yeah,
That's right.
You guys look so relaxed and wonderful.
we just got cozy in our wonderful Rocco Forte bathrobes, and we thought we should bedazzle them a little bit in a very Christmassy way. So I
It
hope
looks
That's
that
right.
great.
Christmas is
That, that's one
Atmosphere
of
in
the
the
hotel
moment.
amenities during the holidays, right? Is the special light garland over
of
your
Yes.
course, yeah.
bathrobe.
Well,
And
I
also
always
good,
heard,
like the people when it's getting dark very early here in Germany, so the people outside they see us with this because I wear this the whole day, not just for this now, of course.
Yeah,
well, I always hear about how Germany does Christmas right. So this is
yeah.
this is a good beginning.
I started my morning right with some German coffee as German tea. There
Schwarztee.
we go.
Love
It's
it. That's a good one.
I usually go for the marzipan, but they said this is more of a Christmassy tea.
There you go. And there's like massive tree in Katja's living room. I like that as well.
That's right.
Yes, it's wonderful. I do enjoy the Christmas tree tradition every year. So Andre
That's
and I
right.
grew up with a well, Andre is my brother, so we grew up with a New Year's tree. So grew up in Moscow. But we've adopted now the Christmas tree and the New Year's tree and all the things, all the traditions.
And
Great.
you know what's funny that actually the Christmas tree is a very German tradition, and I think that's also why we came together today to kind of talk a little bit about like Christmas traditions in Germany, right? So the Christmas tree actually they started. I mean, it goes back to the Romans and also the Egyptians. So they wanted to have a symbolic evergreen, right? And of course, the original Christmas tree or the Christmas tree we have right now is usually a how do you call it, a fir tree or a pine tree or something like that.
Mhm.
And over the years it evolved, and then yeah, the first Germans actually in about the 1300s actually started with this tradition, and they put candles on it and everything. And back in the days, it was like real candles, right? They lit them
Yeah.
on, and yeah, definitely the fire brigades, the fire teams, they didn't like that idea
Yeah,
because yeah, somehow the houses started to burn. It was super warm, but yeah, not a good idea. So now we have like these electric lights, and yeah, when I think of Christmas, that's also always has been a big highlight for us, for the whole family to get together. Mom is cooking in the kitchen or like doing cookies and stuff like that. And yeah, me and my sisters, we were kind of decorating the Christmas tree with then the highlight of putting the star
On
or
top.
whatever you want to do on top. Some have angels, some have stars on it. Katja has a wonderful like lightning
Sky.
star up there.
Yes.
So yeah, I always think about that when I think about Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, but quite often you will also hear that a lot of the families they will actually bring the tree inside the house on the 24th in the morning.
Oh.
A real surprise for the kids. So they don't allow them to get in the living room or wherever the Christmas tree is. And then the parents, they start decorating it, and everyone is super nervous. Is the tree there? And how tall is the tree? And, is it a beautiful tree? And at night, as a kid, at least it was in my family like that. Um, 5:30 when we came back from the church. That was the first time when we then saw that beautiful tree, and it was definitely a magical moment, right? Because you see this big tree, and it does suddenly something in your house. So it's not everywhere the same, but in a lot of families you will really hear that they do it the way I just described it.
And that's also a great thing about traditions that even though there is like this tradition of a Christmas tree, every family also
Mhm.
depends on where they are located or living within Germany or within the world or Europe. They have the same traditions, but they do it slightly differently, which I find very, very interesting as well.
Yeah.
Right?
I love the story about the tree on the 24th because now, well, like as I said, Russians, everything is off by 2 weeks, and so we usually get our tree around the 23rd, 24th of December, and
Yeah.
usually people are like, "Why is your tree not up?" And I'm like, "Well, because at 23rd, 24th they give them away, and you just tip them, and you don't have to pay $150
That's clever. That's clever.
for a very nice tree." But now I'll tell them I'm following the German tradition, so
Here we
putting
go.
it up on the 24th.
I love how we finally have an explanation we've
Yes,
been doing for all these years.
that's right.
Or an excuse.
But I am curious, Katja, what for the New Year tree, what is there a story behind why it's on New Year's?
Well, we grew up in the Soviet Union, so where, a lot of these traditions were not actively celebrated. So things, and the New Year's is a universal holiday. So I think that's why we had a New Year's tree. They still wanted to keep the tree. And there was actually, I remember going to a big festival like in the Kremlin where, all the kids were
Yes.
invited and there was like song and dance. And like, we don't have per se Santa Claus, he's called Father Frost, but similar idea, and you would get like a little package with candy and kids would have to recite. Usually you put on a talent show actually for
Yeah.
your family. You'd usually
Oh,
be
really?
like you would sing a song, read some poetry, or do a little dance, something like that. So,
But again,
yeah.
this is like
Yeah.
so great how everybody is doing this like a slightly different way, right? The same thing actually with the
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve,
Yeah.
right? So like our main event, let's call it like that, is at the night or the evening of the 24th.
And not the 25th.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like in many other countries, like also in the UK, definitely in the US and Canada, you have Santa coming in on the morning or in the morning of the 25th, right? And yeah, we have Christmas Eve then. Everybody's going like in the afternoon, like the last preparations for the meal are getting done, and then we usually go to the church service, and then we come back, and then Santa Claus, or we call it also the Christkind, like how do you
Yeah.
call that? Like
Cr-
the Christ child.
Chris
I don't
child,
know.
yeah.
Comes then, brought all the presents, and then there's always a debate in our family about if we are getting dinner or having dinner first,
Mhm.
or unwrap the presents first. And of course, like the kids, we were always
Presents.
voting for the presents, of course, right? And my parents said, "Nah, no, let's have dinner and then take our time with the presents," because they knew after 5 minutes unwrapping the presents, we were super hungry, and then went over to the kitchen. But yeah, always a big
We
debate.
always opened the presents. We had a big dice, and only when you had a six, you were allowed to take a present, and
Wow.
then
Ah,
to open it. If you had no six, you had to wait, and the next one.
There was
Those
one
are the dice.
Christmas.
And actually, it's quite funny because the older you get, it's really a fun thing, and not everyone goes to the tree and rips off the present.
yeah.
And after 5 minutes, that whole glamour is gone.
I love hearing all this, and I think that starting with the rolling of the dice is such a good idea because you're right. In our family, it was just crazy with 4 kids, and then it was just like I think it's also a good way to start people off with the gambling, because like lucky number 6, lucky number 7, I personally
They
like
should
that.
train them to roll 7 though. They should do 2 die and be like 7 and 11. 7 and
It-
11. And when you do it
yeah,
good, you get the big gift. The one
yeah.
that gets it more often, and then send them and then we'll arrange a package for them to Atlantic City or Macau, you know.
I do like casinos, so I love this. Well, and what I also love is hearing Katja's story and Andre's and R&R story about how everything is kind of, you take little bits and then what works you continue and then you add to. And along those lines, I grew up in a very Italian American family, and we had our nativity and we had our poinsettias and our Advent wreaths, and we always had midnight mass. We had midnight mass, and so, which is a little hard for kids. But it was interesting because I think we had a little bit of a logistical issue because my father is a firefighter, my mother's a night nurse. So we had, you know, both our parents working nights sometimes, and then Santa Claus would come at night. So I kind of think he needed a travel agent to like logistically make sure that like he came at the right time, and my parents, because it's very confusing. But anyway, so we had a lot of that evening. The December 24th was really important. But now my husband, who's from Italy, he's really into owls. I have my little owl back here. And so
Yeah.
so owls are good luck. I don't know if they are in Germany as well, but in I mean they're very good luck in Italian culture. So we have a lot of owls in our house. So we've kind of combined a lot of the different things from Europe and Italy and then from the US. So but it was Christmas Eve was really important, and to this day where it's like, okay, where are we going to get the crab? We have to get the crab. The crab and the champagne is what we like to have. And if it is it crab season? Is it out yet? Is it ready? And where are we going to get it? And who's got it? And I mean, this year's a little different, but we've been talking about crab for about 10 days now.
Yeah, I was going to say that this time of year
Yeah.
is so magical for so many reasons. Today, the day that we're recording is the day of the winter solstice. We just had the longest night in California at 5 a.m. was the winter solstice. So from now on, and it's really symbolic, specifically this year, in my opinion, because from now on, the days are going to get brighter and brighter and brighter, and we're going to welcome back the return of the light.
Yeah.
I think is just so needed, but also this is a time to at least traditionally like the dark time to reset, to set intentions. It's rich with tradition, just like you were talking about all the family coming together from since when we were so tiny till now. Everything is so rich in this season, but also so meaningful, every little thing. So like that's like the wonderful thing. And obviously us being like living in America and incorporating the traditions from like the old country where we all sort of came from. We're all at some level immigrants. Andre and I came when in our lifetime. Christina, you are probably maybe several generations removed. You guys in Germany. Such a beautiful time to get together. So tell us about the Christmas markets and what is that all about? Because actually, even in Russia now, I have not personally seen, but the Red Square right in front of the Kremlin is
Yeah,
now the site of like a large Christmas market.
exactly. It's the
So
largest ice skating rink and Christmas market. I saw it last year. Yeah, so it's been
That's exactly
adopted around the world.
I mean,
Getting
the whole Christmas market tradition became over the years more and more popular. In cities like Munich, we don't have only one. We have, I think, 25, 30 different markets with different themes. And
mm,
usually the the tradition really is that at 4, 5 ish, you are actually meeting your friends, your family, at one of those beautiful markets. You stroll around, you explore, what kind of offerings they're having, and of course, you have the mullet wine, the Glühwein, one or two or maybe more, it depends. And fantastic food. Of course, you can't miss the typical Nürnberger sausage, but there's
mm,
much more to explore. There's a dish it's a fried potato, and really really great good food. And just the fact that it's dark, it's cold, but having warm food and warm drinks makes it very special and unique. And you have a beautiful decorated Christmas tree and all the lights and just this whole atmosphere. And this is definitely something we're gonna miss this year due to all those restrictions. And we're truly looking forward to have that back. On the other hand, we also have seen a real travel trend, that we
Mhm.
have travelers coming in particular to explore various Christmas markets throughout the country. So they really travel from Berlin to Dresden, and from Dresden to Frankfurt, and from Frankfurt to Munich, and onwards. They go to Salzburg, or they go to Zurich, and they really want to inhale the Christmas market feel, which is so traditional and fun.
Yeah, and it goes actually far back. Like I think it was the late Middle Ages, like actually the area what is now Germany, and it wasn't called Christmas market, of course, because back then there was no Christmas being celebrated um, in this area. So it was kind of a winter market
Mhm.
where actually townspeople were coming together and selling and also buying stuff they needed for the winter. So they were actually stocked up on all food and supplies they needed for the winter. And then over the years and years, it developed into what we now call a Christmas market with all the stalls. And you were talking about like the good food.
Yeah.
Yeah, if, sometimes if you need a last minute present, that's also a great way to get it. And yeah, it's as you already said, there are, especially in the biggest cities, there's not just one Christmas market, there are different Christmas markets. And actually, the first one, because you were mentioning the Munich one as well, the first Christmas market was around the 1300s in Munich. So that was the first. Many people think it's the one in Dresden, but the one in Dresden was about like 20, 25 years later. So the first Christmas markets we had here in Munich. And yeah, as I said, like all kind of different Christmas markets. There is one called a pink Christmas market here in Munich for the LGBT community. There is something here in Munich called Tollwood, which is a Christmas festival kind of a thing.
Mhm.
Look, looks a little bit alternative, hippie-like, with also good food, good music playing there. One of my favorite Christmas market is actually around the corner from the Hotel de Rome, which is the one at the Gendarmenmarkt. Just amazing. The stalls, the booths, how they are decorated, and yeah, I mean, just around the corner of the Hotel de Rome, which is yeah, a very historic area as well. And actually, good news! I just learned about that. I think the other week that there's going to be a Christmas market right on the Bible Square next or the year after next year, and
Oh,
we're super excited for that. And other than that, we usually have Christmas markets or Christmassy stuff all around our property. So, for instance, in Berlin, we have this amazing rooftop terrace overlooking the Babel Square. And usually, when it's colder on the weekend, we open it up for a little Christmas market situation, we call it. So we serve the mullet wine and hot drinks. I never thought a hot gin and tonic will taste good, but
what? No.
It does.
it does. And yeah, we have the heat lamps. I think you call them heat lamps, right? So you don't freeze on the terrace, and it's just a cool way. Here in Munich, we usually have a gingerbread house, like a huge gingerbread house in our lobby, and of course, yeah, Christmas trees and Christmas decorations in all of our houses. And yeah, we just want to make it very special because, and you were mentioning that as well, especially for travelers that have seen it all, right? It's definitely something on or that should be on their bucket list to experience these wonderful Christmas markets and maybe do a little Christmas market tour, Frankfurt, Berlin, and Munich. You can easily travel around with the high-speed train called the ICE here in Germany, and then you can also tie in wonderful Christmas markets like in Nuremberg, Dresden. You can go to Austria, Salzburg, just a lovely Christmas market or Christmas markets there. And yeah, it's really yeah, a once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Definitely something to put on the calendar for sure, though.
Yes.
Definitely,
I
definitely.
certainly feel that since we've done, we've adapted to this year and the challenges that it presented. It's December. Come on, guys. So like we made it to December. This is so good.
No
And
time.
so yeah, so I'm confident that we'll adapt to the challenges next year. And there's definitely so much hope on the way, and then people have been staying in touch and doing this community, and like I feel the Christmas spirit on this call right now, just having you guys in Germany and and having Christina and Andre and the Christmas trees. So it's still really fun. I think we've really learned a lot about how to build community and build connection and also yeah, like how give our clients, for example, in a travel business something to look forward to. So tell us where you are. Like I like this apartment that you're in.
That's great.
We're
This
actually
is
right now in our top level suite at the Charles Hotel, the so-called Monforte Royal Suite. It's nice to be here, and we
We
just
like
thought,
it. We like it.
yeah, we like it. We're
yeah.
gonna be here over Christmas, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah. We're gonna move in.
Prepare
celebrate.
it well.
Celebrate together. Yeah.
You know what? We show you around a little bit. Here we go.
There we
There we
go.
go.
Oh wow.
So yeah,
There we
it's
go.
a little bit small. You can see that only 200 square meters. It's super small. That's the living
Wow.
area right here. Roman, there's a piano,
Oh yes.
and it works. There you go.
Bravo.
That's a wonderful bedroom here with
Master bedroom.
Wow.
master bedroom with the closet. Actually, the closet that's exactly the size of my apartment here in Munich. There you go. Big enough to put the children in and lock the door, right? If they are annoying. Especially for the colder days, we have a steam room right here. I love the dual shower. There you go.
Yeah.
Turn it on.
And you guys have
follow you, Roman.
a great kids program too, so it's a great option for families to go experience the market.
Yeah, Rocco Forte is very, very family friendly, and especially if it comes to booking with smaller children, and we call smaller children until the age of 14, actually.
Oh,
Um,
there we go.
That's good.
I mean, some parents would argue.
we book
Don't give up on that
you
childhood.
get a second
Too early.
Uh-huh.
you get a second 50% off. And if you book a suite, like for instance the Monforte suite here, you get the second room complimentary for the kids. And usually they are adjacent, so we can confirm that at time of booking, which is a great thing.
So
Okay.
come with your family.
1 second.
Looks great.
Here we are.
So we're gonna turn on the stove and we're gonna show you actually how to cook the original Gluehwein.
Yes, please. I
So
would
does
love
each hotel, if each of your properties open, have its own version of Gluehwein during the
Yeah,
holidays?
like every bar manager has its own recipe. So we have this one here from Roman. He's our bar manager or head of bar here at the Charles Hotel at the lovely Sophia's bar. And yeah, maybe you tell a little bit about the ingredients, and then I'm gonna put them in.
So first of all, of course, you need a dry red wine, which we have prepared here.
wonderful.
What you then do is you put in these vanilla
Maybe a little bit more.
sticks. I'm not sure if you can see those. You can have one or two. Just put them inside.
2 vanilla pods.
Okay. We then have some cinnamon sticks. Also put in 2. All right. And then I would put in 2 of these cloves.
Oh yes, yes.
Right.
Star anise, or is that
Yeah,
Anise.
anise, right? Absolutely. And to give it a special twist, we put in ginger. Okay.
Let's put some more in. I love it spicy.
Okay. And then we have fresh sliced oranges. And then
Don't forget the vanilla sugar. And let's see, not too much. I mean, depends on if you like it more sweet, if you have a sweet tooth, or if you like it more spicy. You can kind of put that however you want to like it. And then I mean, we don't have the time yet, but then it has to simmer. So it doesn't have to cook. Don't cook it up.
never
Because,
boil it.
yeah, never boil it because this is gonna destroy all the flavors and everything in it.
And
the
alcohol.
And the alcohol goes away, and that's something we really don't want. We really don't want that. So let's have it simmering a little bit. And yeah, of course, we prepared another portion of the lovely Gluehwein. And
Here are the pots.
How long do you usually simmer it for?
I mean, you can simmer it how long you want. You can put that on the stove in the morning and then have it simmer for like 2 or 3 hours. But I think like half an hour.
Yeah.
So really that the wine.
And it really depends on the intensity of the ingredients you have in there. The longer you simmer it, the more flavor you have in your Glühwein. But you can have it for 8 hours, but at least you should have it, I would say, for 40-45 minutes, that you have
Okay.
a proper taste. Otherwise, it only tastes like warm red wine.
The tradition also goes far back, and I mean, definitely it's not an Italian tradition, and it's also not a French tradition, because they like to drink their very good red wine and white wine pure, and that's good as well. But it goes far back again to the Middle Age, and that actually was a way to keep your wine um, last a little bit longer. So extend the expiry date with like the sugar and also the spices in it. And also, you must say, if the wine was not very good, and I mean, we're not very famous for our wineries, but there are like great wineries, especially like around Frankfurt, where you can get an
Yeah.
amazing Riesling. But back in the day, sometimes the wine was very sour, and that was also a way to make it a little bit more sweet, put some sugar in it, some honey, etc. And yeah, for us now, it's just like to, as Roman said, be together during the Christmas time. Let's have a sip.
Yes.
I'm wondering if
Cheers.
cheers. I'm wondering if you've had heard any modern kind of like inventions with the varietals, the like the Gewürztraminers or the Rieslings. Have you seen anybody do anything with those?
I mean, you can see also Glühweins right now with, for instance, a white wine. Yeah, as you said, like the Riesling is very popular, or you can see a nice rosé wine or something in Glühweins as well. But I think that the traditional one, cocktails,
is
yeah,
very popular.
like Glühwein cocktails, or I
Oh
mean, there's
wow.
like the traditional recipe. Oh, Jesus Christ, this goes away.
Yeah.
This is not like the original recipe, but it's definitely something that is like, yeah, very popular right now with a little twist in it. Like, as I said, cocktails and stuff.
Well, after the warm gin and tonic, no cocktail is safe from being heated up
There
and
you
served
go.
hot.
There you
So watch out, the world.
I've
Wouldn't-
I've always enjoyed Gluehwein, and I've actually tried making it. And I think on a cold night, there's nothing better than having a cup of warm Gluehwein. And I was taught to fortify it a little bit with a splash of brandy or vodka. That's
Absolutely.
something that's for that extra
Yeah,
cold.
we would never do that, right? But yeah, it depends on
How
how
cold it
annoying
is
the kids
outside, right?
are, and how annoying the wife is. We definitely put some brandy in it. Yeah.
But you know, another fun part is really if you go to different families and they come up with the recipes, of their grandparents or from the mother or from whomever, and they tell these stories, and I think it's all about this storytelling, and suddenly they continue with that tradition. And I
Yeah.
think that's also such a magical point around Christmas, telling these stories and giving them to the next generation, and they talk about it. And similar what we do here tonight, talking about these tradition, exchange them, and share them with each other. I think that makes it very unique and very special.
And everybody adds something to it, and I think that's what yeah, makes traditions, right? A tradition never starts as a tradition. It's being created and then changed over the years until it's the tradition we know it, and then
Right.
other generations change it again and again and again, and it's never finished, right? And that's a great thing about tradition.
I love what you said about traditions, because even with your hotels, with Rocco Forte Hotels, they tend to be in, well, just anywhere in Europe, it's historic properties that you've now have stewardship of, and then how to update that historic property and maintain the spirit and the tradition, and infuse it with new life and infuse it with new energy, just like all of these things. And especially I think in times now where, everything is so digital and our connections is digital, it's so nice to be reminded of like your roots and the family and the connection and the stories we could tell each other. So yeah, thank you for this beautiful Gluehwein.
That's right.
I'm gonna make some, I think, tonight.
That's right.
You've
Yeah.
inspired.
But it's interesting what you're saying about the family, and I think that's something that really sets Rocco Forte Hotels apart from the other brands. I mean, there are great hotel brands and great hotels all over the world, but what really makes us special is there's still a family behind it. So Rocco is still very, very actively running the company. He's getting now his children on board as well. His son Charles Forte is our business development director. And he's looking for new properties all over the world. His daughters are getting involved into the company as well. His sister is still our director of design. So every interior designer you're going to see, or you saw, for instance, here in the Monforte Suite, is her style and is
Her
is
signature.
her work, her
Yeah.
signature. And then also you were mentioning the old buildings we're getting in, and we were confirming or we make them to something different. And that's, I think, one of the best examples is the Hotel de Rome in Berlin, which is over 150 years old, and it used to be the headquarters of the Dresdner Bank. And
Uh,
as you can imagine, like also the outside, you can still see like shrapnels, bullet holes in the stone from all the stuff that was happening outside, because it's right in Berlin, right in the historic part of Berlin. And then Olga Polizzi, she did an amazing job in just preserving and keeping the history of the building and also like the old design, and then pimp it up, spice it up a little bit with newer elements. Like we have this Olivia Wilde bird cage. She's a famous artist from the US, right in the lobby, like very modern art everywhere, like splashes of color. If you look into the suites, for instance, splashes of color, like colorful pillows and very modern furniture than in like the old environment. And I think that's a great thing to get the best of the both worlds, actually.
Before we all, I guess, say goodbye, which is so sad. I like this so
I can
much.
do this for the next 2 hours, to be honest. I have new I have great company, so I can do
I
this for
know, such
three
great
hours.
company. I could really
Yeah.
feel the friendship and the camaraderie, and the Gluehwein is really kicking in now, or maybe my coffee. But I was just contemplating, what are some of our either personal or professional wishes for the new year, having had the year that we just had, where there was a lot of time, as you mentioned. If you were to cheers right now, to raise your glass of coffee or Gluehwein or tea, and just toast people, it could be really simple, or it could be a little bit more meaningful and complex. So I mean, I could start. And for me, I think I just wanted to say the traditional Russian toast, which everybody knows, which is na zdarovye, means to your health.
Nastarovia.
Yeah.
May everybody be healthy in 2021 and the remainder of 2020. Cheers.
I
Yeah.
love that. I'll go next, and mine was going to be health, but I'm gonna you said it so beautifully, so I'm just gonna toast to kindness. May we all share and have kindness.
Cheers, Christina.
Cheers, Christina.
Yeah, well, I'll toast to to history repeating itself, in that when the 1918 Spanish flu happened, and the last pandemic, it was followed by the Roaring Twenties, where people traveled, people went out, when people decided that we're gonna live life to the max. We're not gonna wait around and until our bucket list or anything like that. So here's to the Roaring Twenties.
Cheers to it. The Roaring Twenties, yeah, gonna be the Roaring Twenties. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cheers to a mix of all of you. Like I love to cheers to healthiness as well, because I mean in the end it's one of our biggest goods and wealth as we do have right now. And I mean we talk about this pandemic. I mean we made the best out of it, yes, but again on the other hand, and I don't want to be like the sad man here, but a lot of people died because of this like horrible disease. And yeah, just wish that everybody stays healthy and yeah, can celebrate the next Christmas with their family as well. Cheers to that
Cheers.
kindness as well.
That's a
Christine.
long cheers.
It is. Roman.
Um, to me, it's, and I think it's a bit more of a motto. Is really, I believe that we should speak more about the opportunities that are ahead of us and the things we are able to do, than rather being always so negative and talking about things we can do and can change. And I just mentioned it to my team. Let's talk about these things we are able to do. Let's look at opportunities that we can grab and we can take. And I think we need some positive attitude. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. That's going to be a
Cheers.
long
Salute. Positivity. Well
Opportunities.
said. Well said.
Very well said. Such wonderful toasts, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, guys, and we're truly looking forward for 2021.
Yeah, thank you guys for your support. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Right.
I love this. Has been so wonderful. You guys have style, substance, and heart.
Oh, there you go. You can't see that on the screen, but we just blushed. There you go.
And it's not the blue wine.
Not too much.
No, it was a pleasure to talk to you guys. And again, like it's all about trust, as Roman said. It's all about relationships, and we so much appreciate your support and sending us your valued clients. And talking about trust, we always will take good care of them, roll out the red carpet for them, and hopefully, yeah, we can welcome them soon again. Yeah, so cheers to that.
Cheers, guys.
Holidays.
Thank you so much.
Happy holidays.
Next Christmas for this year.
Yes.
But hopefully in person. Hopefully in person.
Yes. Happy holidays.
Happy
Happy
holidays.
holidays.